Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You know me as the panel photographer. My name is Keiki Alexander Bailey, and yesterday, on June 9th, 2020, at 14:42 p.m. at Fred Meyer's, I was profiled because I was black holding a EU passport. So let me explain. I got my receipt here, but it doesn't say who approved the 21 age above for alcohol. So, if you guys don't know me, I'm the panel photographer. And on this channel, I teach photography and videography and tutorials. As a documentarian, as a photographer, take this story with a grain of salt. Now, I go to Fred Meyer's yesterday and I go to buy some food because yesterday we have a guest here that just turned 30 here at the Portland hostel. So, I want to do something nice, pick up some snacks and drinks, some beverages, and and then I go there. I do a little bit of shopping for about 20 minutes. And at 14:40 is where things got a little complicated. When I registered my food first, then registered my alcohol last, an employee, Caucasian white, blondish grayed hair, comes to me. I show her a EU passport. I pointed out my date of birth because she had a little difficult reading. She looks at me, up, looks at me, up, looks at me, and says, "Can you take off your mask?" I said, "No, I'm not taking off my mask because of my safety. Why are you singing, pointing me out of all these people? Because what's the issue? I'm not sure if this is authentic or real. Let me go talk to my manager." Why? And she just continued to walk away. Then a manager comes. The next 15 seconds, a manager comes, or 30 seconds, the manager comes and tells me that her employee, told me that I refused to show her identification. I told her, no, I didn't refuse to show her. I showed her she can't read a EU passport. Now, I have another passport, but I also have other credentials. I showed her my media passes with picture ID barcode scans from the employer and from my website. Right? I showed her a Wisconsin membership ID, and I told her it's not my fault that your employees have lack of educational and communication skills because, Fred Myers, what are you teaching your employees? But what was so weird about the whole incident is where when I finally got through to them and said, like, you guys are wrong. You're profiling. This is ridiculous. You profile me, and not only that, you single-handedly picked me out of a whole entire crowd, and then you thought the passport was fake. So you go to your manager, but you lie to your manager and tell your manager that I didn't show you any passport. That is bull. So we just talked about this yesterday in a live stream about being black in America is the most toughest job in this country. And look what just happened yesterday at Fred Meyer's. Now, speaking of Fred Meyer's, I have a friend here that works here at the Northwest Portland hostel, and we had a former employee that worked here that also went through the same issues because I was told yesterday that it happened to a number of the black employees here at the hostel. When they go to Fred Meyer's, they always either be followed or be harassed. And yesterday was a clear, good example of being harassed for no apparent reason. Being harassed because you're black and you hold two passports. Let me ask you a question, white folks. Do you actually believe in my ability to live as a human being just like you and I? Do you believe that I'm capable of doing the exact same things that you're doing? Positive, moral, well, I just want to say moral, role model type of person to your children. Do you trust me to be around your kids? To tell them from right from wrong? Because obviously you don't. And obviously people here in Portland are not getting the message. Obviously, people are still behaving in ways that are really disgusting, unprofessional, and you work at a community supermarket and you have the nerve to like try to get another black woman to infiltrate my mind and my intelligence. I had to tell them my First and Fourth Amendment rights. Like, listen, I can walk out without this stuff. I don't care. I can go to Whole Foods. I had an option to go to Whole Foods or come to Fred Meyer's. So, take it as it is. But when she approved the 21 age limit, it was like they got snarty afterwards after I told them what they needed to know. Because obviously they don't even, it seemed like they didn't quite understand the human and civil and constitutional rights. Instead, they feel more upset that I told them off. And wasn't telling you off, I'm telling you my rights. I can refuse to take off my mask, just like you can refuse for services, but it has to be for good reason, because there was no reason for you or your employee to have the speculation that my identification passport was not authentic. Fred Myers, what do you teach your employees? Maybe you should have a communication skill class. Maybe you should teach your employees to speak another second or third language. But you're going to say, oh, we have employees for that. No. When I grew up in Japan, everyone spoke the same language. If you needed to study that language, everyone spoke the same language. So, I don't know what your structure's like here in Oregon, in Portland, even though I'm not new to Portland, and I'm not someone that has never been to Fred Meyer's. Before this, I've been to Fred Meyer's multiple times, and it didn't happen. But this time, it happened. My receipt doesn't lie, ladies and gentlemen. So, but the problem about this receipt is, it doesn't actually have the manager's name. Because normally receipts would have like register name, cashier name, who checked you out, what register. But since this was self-checkout, it's kind of complicated to tell. But there is a receipt number which can verify who approved the alcohol bypassed. So, yeah, people don't learn. People still are being racist. People are still being very profiling black people because they don't believe in black people's ability to hold what, a diploma, a college degree, a passport, or what, we're not allowed to have a passport, so we automatically come under suspicion. Right. It's early in the morning. I just got in from work. I was working at the studio, and I figured I'd just come in and make this video and talk about last night and what happened. And I think it's only fair to say that I'm only doing justice here. And I'm only doing this because it's only fair for me to share a story, you too, instead of demonetizing it right away. Because what happened to me was unlawful. I think it was disgusting. I think Fred Meyer should apologize, and I think the employees should apologize for their lack of education and a lack of knowledge and a lack of communication. Now, the manager that walked with me was pretty kind until she thought the way that she looked at me from the corner of her eye as she turned around, as if she thought I was being smart, and I was like, I am smart. But I'm not trying to give you a hard time. Your employee gave you a hard time by lying to you, saying that I didn't show you any identification. Right. Okay. So with that said, everyone, I will not be shopping at Fred Meyer's anymore. I don't recommend Fred Meyer's because after I was told by multiple staff here at the hostel that a few of their black employees also were attacked at Fred Meyer's for no apparent reason, obviously things are going badly for Fred Meyer's if this continues to happen with black folks. So, and the black community here will probably upset to hear that Fred Meyer's actually did this. And please, Fred Meyer's, look at the footage and share the footage. Do not alter the footage. Do not do anything to the footage because I will like that footage. I would like you guys to hand over that footage so I can show people what happened that day. And everyone, you guys are gonna be like, yeah, I didn't see what happened. He showed the passport and why she walked away and, gave this false suspicion that I was doing something bad because I'm black. That's so messed up. Fred Meyer, I want an apology. So I don't want to hear your excuses. I want an apology. Because I will go down there and file a Better Business Bureau complaint against you. And keep in mind, you can't not hide that evidence because that evidence is footage. You're entitled to hold that footage as long as possible. And it just happened yesterday. Today's the 10th. So, with that said, everyone, another photographer being profiled, another black man being profiled for just trying to do something good for someone else. No good deed goes unpunished. Tell you. Disgusting. I'm the panel photographer, everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hearing the Black Lives Matter movement. Thank you, everyone, for protesting peacefully without any violence. Those that are committing violence, I don't commend. So, with that said, I've just been discriminated again.